I'm going to talk a little bit about the programs. Let me backtrack and tell you a little bit about myself. I immigrated from Havana, Cuba at the age of 8 to Newark, New Jersey. Anybody from New Jersey here? I think I saw Passaic and Jersey City. Is that the cities represented? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. Freehold. Nice. Exit 133. So I immigrated to the United States. I was a product of the public school system. I repeated 3rd grade because I moved from Havana, didn't know any English, and I learned English in about 6 months' time. And it was the Newark public school system that helped me to be bilingual, which actually has helped me through my career because I did a 3-year assignment in Mexico City with KPMG over the years. So it's really the public school system that really, really helped me, along with my family, that helped me to basically have the privilege and honor of being in front of 1,000 to 1,200 of you today. I joined KPMG in the Short Hills office in 1984 and progressed my career and then started to get involved as I progressed with KPMG, started to get involved with our diversity and inclusion initiatives. And let me tell you a little bit about what our mission is and what our vision is. It's really about inclusion, being an inclusive environment. You can't be diverse if you're not inclusive. And that means that it's like I'm preaching to the choir here, right? But if everyone at KPMG, all 30,000 of us, are not inclusive in our thinking, in our culture, we can't be diverse, or we can't be more diverse. So it really starts with the us, embracing and respecting differences. And then after that, once we're inclusive and once we drive inclusive behaviors, then it's about diversity, right? And how do we attract more African Americans, Hispanic, Asian Pacific Islanders, and really become a more diverse organization? Because diverse organizations are more efficient, more profitable. They're able to think in different ways and really get to an end result that is better than if it was a groupthink of all people that are the same and alike. So inclusion and diversity is really our mission from the diversity standpoint. I sit on the KPMG's Diversity Advisory Board, which is chaired by Lynn Dowdy, who's our chairman and CEO. She's also on the board of NAF. From a NAF perspective, we've had over 100 interns over the last couple of years. We actually will have 30 interns this summer, and 2 of them will be here in Dallas. So we're really, really excited about our partnership with NAF. But our partnership with NAF really goes beyond just the partnership with NAF. It's really a partnership with each and every one of you that is in the room today. Because we can't be more inclusive, we can't be more diverse at KPMG if it isn't with each and every one of you in the room today helping us achieve that mission. And it's the corporate partnerships with organizations like NAF, but then it's the arms and legs and the brains and the strategy that you all put forth from a NAF perspective that really is the catalyst that drives us at KPMG to be more successful. My next slide really just tells you what our vision is from a inclusion and diversity standpoint. As you can see on the slide, it's really about recruiting. And as I always say, it's about recruiting more diverse talent into KPMG. And how do we do that? And I'll explain that in a minute. Then, of course, once we attract them, then it's a matter of retention and development. Because it's one thing to attract them, but if you can't support them and help them in their growth and help them in retention, we're not going to be successful because we've got to retain, develop, and then ultimately our goal is to promote. Promote after 3 years, they move to senior, but ultimately we promote to managing director and partner. And that is really where I spend a lot of my time personally on the Hispanic Latino side of the house of KPMG, is really how do we accelerate the advancement and the promotion of Hispanic Latinos. As someone told me recently, you can't be what you can't see, right? So we need more leaders at higher ends of organizations that people and young high school students can see what they can be in the future. So that's really our mission. From a NAF perspective, how does NAF fit into all of this? When one of the jobs that I had about 10, 12 years ago was National Managing Partner for Campus Recruiting and University Relations. And as part of that initiative, we looked at ourselves and we said, we are not diverse enough. What programs do we have in place? What initiatives do we have in place to really increase the pipeline of African American and Hispanic in particular, the underrepresented groups? And one of the things that we did is we started to branch out to different schools, not only the large schools like in Texas, University of Texas, Texas A&M, SMU, Baylor, but we started looking at University of Houston as an example, looking at it from a Texas perspective. But we looked at this firm-wide and countrywide. And one of the programs that we started was our Future Diversity Leaders program. It was identifying freshman and sophomore students at universities and bringing them to Hollywood, California. In other words, making them feel like stars. Some of these individual students, freshmen and sophomores, I bet 90% of them had never been on an airplane before. And and this year, I've been going for every year. This was our 11th year. We started with 50 students, African American, Hispanics. This year, we had 151. And I'll show you a quick picture. This is this year's class. Now, this is diversity. We actually had, so we have 150 students. We break them out into cohorts of about 20 to 25. We have 2 instructors in a room. This year, we had the privilege, and I know him personally, a senior manager by the name of Carlos Orozco taught the class, and he was a student in 2007. Now, is that not amazing? And you can be what you see, right? So I was so proud of what KPMG's done on the diversity front. So we started looking for diverse students at their junior, senior year. We then moved to the freshman, sophomore year, and now NAF is really what I would call, if there is one, the silver bullet, because we now get an opportunity to go down into the high school level with an organization that has 100,000, almost 100,000 students in the network. And in talking to JD earlier, I think we want to make it 1 million students. It's not enough to have 100,000. We need 1 million students. As a result of what we've been doing, we now have increased, for instance, in the Hispanic Latino, we've gone from 3 or 4% hiring. In other words, 3 or 4% of our hiring represented Hispanic Latinos. We've gone now to 8%. Now you say, okay, well, 8%, I agree, 8% is not enough, but it's more than twice what 3% was. We've done very similar things on the African American side. So we're really, really proud of what we're doing. This summer in New York City, we're doing a program, Future Ready Lab. We're really, really excited to partner with NAF and with Verizon on this program. Again, it's going to take a village, and this is the village that is going to make it happen, all of you. So I just want to say thank you for every single thing that you're doing. I know you're having a great conference, and enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the time in North Texas. Thank you.